Hello everyone. Today's topic is microscope. Myself, Dr. A. Madhuri, Assistant Professor of Microbiology from Government Degree College for Women, Begumpet. These are contents of my presentation. First, we'll try to understand what is microscope. Then we'll go with the history of microscope, and we'll see types of microscope and in detail about compound microscope. So first, let us understand what is microscope. Microscope, micro means small, scope means to look. This is an instrument used to see objects that are too small for the naked eye. Okay, so this is the instrument which is used to observe the organisms which are very small that cannot be seen with the naked eye. And this is an instrument that produces an accurately enlarged image of small objects. Means this instrument is creating an image, enlarged image, exact enlarged image of the small objects. Like we can see them in a bigger size in the same, the details will be the same which are in the small size. Next, the science of investigating small objects using such an instrument called as microscopy. So the study of uh, observing the small objects or microorganisms, this technique is called as microscopy. Microscopic means invisible to eye unless aided by a microscope. So the term microscopic means they are very small to be seen by naked eye. That is why we are using an instrument called as microscope. Coming to history, in first century, Romans experimented with glass and found objects appeared larger when viewed. Okay, so in the first century, Romans were the people. They have experimented with different glass materials, and they have seen that when we observe through the glass, the objects will be viewed in a large size. Next observation was in 12th century. Salvino di Armade from Italy, he made first eyeglass providing wearer with an element of magnification to one eye. So Salvino has constructed an eyeglass giving um, some support so that it can be wore on the eye, but it was for only one eye. Next, in 1590, two Dutch spectacle makers, Zacharias Janssen and his father Hans, started experimenting by mounting two lenses in a tube first compound microscope. So, in the year first 1590, Zacharias Janssen and his father has made this compound microscope. This is the first compound microscope. Why we are calling it as compound microscope is they have used two lenses at the two ends of a tube. In 1609, Galileo Galilei developed a compound microscope with convex and a concave lens. This is the microscope developed by Galileo Galilei. In this microscope, he mounted two lenses, that is, one is convex lens and the other one is concave lens. In 1665, Robert Hooke's book called Micrographia officially documented a wide range of observations through microscope. So, Robert Hooke has given the term cell. So, he has observed, he has written the book Micrographia. In this book called Micrographia, he has documented many observations which he has seen through microscope. And in 1674, Anton von Leeuwenhoek grinded lenses to achieve greater magnification, which he utilized to make a microscope enabling detailed observations to be made by bacteria. So he is the Robert Hooke, he made this microscope, and he is the Antony von Leeuwenhoek. He constructed the microscopes of this fashion. Okay, so Antony von Leeuwenhoek was considered to be one of the most important person in the field of microscope. Actually, he was a cloth merchant, and to know the quality of the cloth, he used to have hand lens. So, when observing through hand lens, out of passion, he used to grind lenses. He used to make different types of hand lenses, and he used to observe many samples. Okay, so out of his curiosity, he found that there is a world existing which is very smaller in size, which we are not able to see through naked eye. So, in this sequence of experiments, he had constructed 250 to 300 microscopes. Okay, these are simple microscopes because they had only single lens, and here it is a lens, right? So these are not compound microscopes, right? And the size of microscopes is also very less. And uh, Anton van Leeuwenhoek has constructed 250 to 300 microscopes. And his one of the important mm, point here is Anton von Leeuwenhoek used to leave the sample, whatever sample he construct a microscope, then he observes some sample under this microscope using this microscope, and then he used to leave that sample along with this microscope. Okay, and to observe the next microscope, he used next sample, he used to construct new microscope of the same fashion. Okay, so this was his specialty, and till today, scientists could not observe the principle behind working of his microscopes. All the microscopes which were constructed by Antony von Leeuwenhoek were kept safe in London Museum, but till now the principle was not understood how the light was projecting on the specimen, how the focusing was happening, and how they could observe the specimen. He has not revealed the secrets of his um, microscopes. In 1826, Joseph Jackson Lister created an achromatic lens to eradicating the chromatic effect caused by different wavelengths of light. So he has Joseph Jackson in the year 1826 constructed a lens, which is a achromatic lens, which can remove the chromatic aberration, which is caused by using different wavelengths of light. So this was one step ahead in the field of microscopy. Next comes a scientist, Ernest Ruska, in the year 1931. He built the first electron microscope. Now, compared to till now, we have seen simple microscopes, compound microscopes. Now, this was something, electron microscope is used to observe very minute details of such a tiny organisms, very minute details. We can see in a very clear fashion the cell wall, cell organelles, etc. inside everything within the cell we can see through this electron microscope. So this was constructed by Ernest Rusk. Now, classification of light microscope. So apart from microscopes, whatever are there, they come under light microscope. Depending on the lens system, they are of two types: simple microscopes and compound microscopes. Depending on the lens system, lens means what glass we are using, what lens we are using in the microscope. If the microscope is made of single lens, then it is called as simple microscope. Okay, if the microscope is having more than one lens, then it comes under the category of compound microscope. Again, I am repeating, if the microscope is made of single lens, then it should be called as simple microscope. And if the microscope is made of more than single lens or more than one lens, it should be called as compound microscope. Next, depending on optical technique, depending on optical technique, they are of different types: bright field, dark field microscopy, phase contrast microscopy, and interference microscopy, and fluorescence microscopy. Okay, so all these are light microscopes only. Depending on the optical technique, here by the term optical technique, they mean different uh, process or different technology involved in these microscopes. Okay, bright field is a different one, where the construction of the microscope is different, altogether different, right? And coming to the dark field microscope, here the name bright field means the background will be bright in color. Here the name dark field microscope, the background will be dark in color. And a bright field microscope can be converted into dark field microscope by just adding one part, that is a stopper in the condenser, annular, some ring at the condenser level. Okay. Next is phase contrast microscopy. Small modification of bright field microscope can give us phase contrast microscopy. In the similar way, fluorescence microscopy and interference microscopy, they are also having different type of construction in the microscopes, but they are all are light microscopes. Why they are called as light microscopes? Because we are using light as a source for illumination of the specimen. Okay, we are using light as the illumination source of illumination for seeing the objects under microscope. That is why we are calling them as light microscope. Then why this is called as electron microscope? As electrons are used for illumination of the specimen, we are calling it as electron microscope. So one thing is clear: if electrons are used, we call it as electron microscope. If light is used, we'll call it as a light microscope. So till now, some basic concepts are clear. Now, coming to the first type of microscope, that is simple microscope. Just now I told you, if we use a single lens, we call it as a simple microscope. Now, let us see here. Because of the limited ability of the eye's lens to change its shape, objects brought very close to the eye cannot have their images brought to focus on the retina. The accepted minimal conventional viewing distance is 250 millimeters or 25 centimeters. Here, what we are trying to focus is, our eye human eye has a limited magnification or limited visibility range. Okay, if you see any object very, keeping that object very close to your eye, you cannot see that object clearly. Okay, so there should be some distance between eye and the object, so that distance must to be minimum 25 centimeters. So you can't see anything if you keep below 25 centimeters near the eye. Everything should be away, 25 centimeters away from your eye to be seen clearly. So this is the simple magnifier using a single lens system. This is the eye, this is the eyepiece. This is the single lens here we are using. Simple microscope always it uses a single lens. Now, more than 500 years ago, simple glass magnifiers were developed. These were convex lenses, thicker in the center than periphery. So the magnifiers which were prepared in the olden days, they used convex lenses. Convex lenses means the glass used to be thicker in the center and thin in the sides. The specimen or object would be focused by use of the magnifier placed between the object and the eye. So for you seeing any object, you have to use this magnifying lens. The simple microscopes, along with the cornea and eye lens, could spread the image on the retina by magnification through increasing the visual angle on the retina. So, what these microscopes or magnifying lens is doing is they are creating an image, enlarged image on the retina by increasing the angle on the retina. Now, the simple microscope or magnifying glass reached its highest state of perfection in the 1600s in the work of Antony van Leeuwenhoek, able to see single-celled animals and even larger bacteria. So, as I said, Antony van Leeuwenhoek has constructed many types of simple microscopes. Many types. Okay, almost he has constructed 250 to 300 microscopes. So here a simple microscope has been more perfect in nature. Okay, and here you can see this is the focusing knob, this is the lens, and this is the sample holder, and this is the sample translator. So this is the overall microscope, which is very smaller in size. It is constructed by Antonio and Leeuwenhoek, and using such a simple microscopes, the micro whatever he constructed, using that microscopes, he was able to see single-celled animals like protozoa. Okay, and he called them as animalcules, and he was even successful in seeing some larger bacteria. It was recorded by his drawings, and he sent his observations to Royal Society of London, which were published later. The image produced by such a magnifier held close to the observer's eye appears as if it were on the same side of the lens as the object itself. So, image by this magnifier will be very close to eye. Such an image seen as if it were 10 inches from the eye is known as virtual image and cannot be captured on the film. So whatever image we are seeing by this simple microscope or lens, which is kept very near to the eye, it is called as virtual image. These magnifiers had severe limitations in specimen positioning, illumination, lens aberrations, and construction. So what was the reason to go for higher magnification is these simple magnifiers or simple or simple microscopes, they had some limitations in terms of specimen positioning, mm, where to place the specimen. That was a major problem. And illumination, what should be the angle of illumination, what should be the strength of illumination, and lens aberrations, whatever lens we are using, these lens, they used to have some problems with the color of light which is used, and construction was also it is a simple form, so we could not get more magnification using these microscopes. Next, coming to the light microscope or the compound microscope. So this is here compound microscope means, as I said, we are using more than one lens. Okay, so around the beginning of the 1600s, through work attributed to Janssen brothers and Galileo in Italy, the compound microscope was developed. So, by the work of scientists called as Janssen and Galileo, the compound microscope has come into existence. So, in the basic form, the compound microscope had two convex lenses aligned in a series. One is objective and the other one is eyepiece. Okay, closer to the observer eye, which means of adjusting the position of the specimen and the microscopic lenses. So the basic compound microscope, which was constructed in this period, they had aligned two convex lenses. Okay, out of these two convex lenses, one is called as objective and the other one is called as eyepiece. Okay, objective was very close to the specimen and eyepiece was very close to observer's eye. and it has got some adjustment uh, option for the position of the specimen. We can move the specimen with this microscope. The compound microscope achieve a two-stage magnification. The objective projects a magnified image into the body tube of the microscope, and the eyepiece further magnifies the image projected by the objective. More of how this is done later. So as I said, here two lenses are used. Okay, so out of this, one is objective and the other one is eyepiece. The first lens which magnifies the specimen is objective lens. This objective lens, it will magnify the specimen, and that image, magnified image, is again magnified by eyepiece. Okay, for example, total visual magnification using a 10x objective and 15x eyepiece is 150x. Here x means how that many times. Okay, Mag- so 10x objective means the objective is a lens. As we know, it is a lens, one of the lens which is nearer to the specimen, and this objective lens is how much magnification it is having. 10x means whatever object we are observing with this lens, it will magnify the object how many times? 10 times. So this lens has, objective lens has got 10x magnification, and similarly eyepiece has got 15x magnification. Okay, so what will be the total visual magnification? Like we are talking about compound microscope where there are two lenses together, right? So when you want to calculate the total visual magnification of both objective and ocular or eyepiece, you have to multiply it 10 into 15, which will be 150 times. It means if the object or the cell which you are observing is 1 micrometer, it will be enlarged 150 times. So it can be observed 150 micrometers using this compound microscope. Next, conversely, it may be and often is all too easy to degrade an image through improper technique or poor equipment. It is very very sensitive method. If we could not focus the specimen properly, we cannot see the image properly. Next, light from the lamp passes through a substage condenser and then through a transparent specimen placed over an opening in the stage. Light is then gathered by the objective. So in the later slides, we can see the diagram of the microscope where we can see that condenser is positioned at the base of the stage, that is substage. Then the light will be taken by condenser and it will be focused onto the specimen which is placed on the stage, and then it will go into the body tube and then eyepiece. So the objective together within the built tube lens focuses the image at the level of fixed diaphragm of a eyepiece. So all this information can be better understood by seeing the diagram. So this is the diagram here, and first let us learn different parts of the microscope. This is the eyepiece, means here there will be a lens, eyepiece or ocular lens, and this is called as body tube, and this is called as nose piece, a revolving nose piece on which objective lens are present. These are the objective lens. So here we understood two lenses. Okay, this is the ocular lens, this is the objective lens. Two lenses are there. Next, coming further down, this is called as arm to hold the microscope, and this is the stage. Okay, on this there will be specimen placed here, and these are the stage clips. Specimen will be on the slide, so this slide will be placed here, and we can visualize using through the by adjusting the objective lens and ocular. Next, this is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is the one which is used to allow fixed amount of light to project onto the specimen, so that it will be our wish how much light should enter or project or be projected onto the specimen. And this is the light source here. In this microscope, the light source is input, or in other models, mirror will be there, which is used uh, in presence of sunlight. And so here the light of source of illumination is bulb, there the light source of illumination will be sunlight. And this is the stage, this is the course adjustment. Course adjustment, it is used to move the objective up and down on the stage, up and down. Here we are moving the stage, and here this is the fine adjustment. Whatever we move, in some models we can move the this part objective up and down, and in some part stage will be moved up and down. Here stage will be moved. So whatever, this is the course adjustment, and this is the fine adjustment. Course adjustment means the distance moved by the stage here will be more at a time, and fine adjustment means the distance moved by the stage will be very less. And this is the base. So whenever you are carrying a microscope, one hand should be at the base and one hand should be holding the arm. So now as we have seen the different parts of the microscope, the objective we have seen, focus the specimen at the level of fixed diaphragm of the eyepiece. Okay, in the eyepiece there will be a diaphragm, and the image will be formed on the diaphragm of the eyepiece. Next, the image is seen by the observer if it were at a distance of approximately 250 millimeters. Okay, if the image is about 10 inches distant from the eye, we can see the image. At lower part of the observation tube is infinity corrected systems. There is a tube lens which gathers the parallel beams of light emerging from the objective and focuses the resulting image at a plane of fixed diaphragm. Eyepiece together, eye lens and eyepiece together with the curved cornea and lens of the eye focuses the image on the retina of the observer's eye. So whatever light, first the light is coming from the light source, and it is passing through the condenser, and it is falling on the specimen. From the specimen it will enter into the objective, and from the objective it will come to the body tube, and from this body tube it will be seen through this ocular lens. So this body tube gathers a parallel light of light emerging from the ob objective. Okay, so whatever light is coming from the objective, it will be collected by the body tube, and the image will be formed on the diaphragm which is present in the ocular lens. Now, so in the previous slides also we have seen, just to sum up, simple microscope has only one lens. Compound microscope has minimum two sets of lenses, and it can magnify things 100 to 200 times larger than they are really. So magnification will be 100 to 200 times. And electron microscope, it can magnify the objects up to 3 lakh times, and they do not use lenses but use electrons to enlarge the image. As the name suggests, the source of illumination is electrons here. And again, let us see this. This is the ocular through which we see into the microscope. This is the coarse adjustment. It is the larger knob that you turn to bring the object into focus. Okay, to see the specimen, we have to adjust the coarse adjustment knob so that we can get the specimen into focus. And coming to the fine adjustment, once we get the specimen into focus, you have to use this fine adjustment to get to know the smaller finer details of the specimen. Next, or to make the picture clear, we have to use this fine adjustment knob. Coming to the arm, it is the supporting um, structure for body tube, and this is the body tube. It holds the eyepiece on one end and objective on the other end, and this is the nose piece, which is called as revolving nose piece. On this nose piece there will be three objectives held. One is 10x, another one is 40x, and the other one is 100x. We can move the objectives by revolving nose piece, and in these objectives we have high power objective lens. High power objective lens. This lens magnifies the object to the greater amount. Okay, so high power lens is magnifying or making the object bigger, showing the object how many times bigger, 40x. Low power objective lens, usually 10x. This will magnify the object to a lesser amount. um, so low power is 3x or 4x, and middle power is 10x or 20x. So whatever this x is, that many times. So objective lens can be high power objective, low power objective, or middle power objective. Now in the compound microscopes, usually there will be high power objective and middle power objective. 10x will be there, 40x will be there, and then oil immersion lens will be there. Next, this is the stage. So the flat part below the objective lens where the slide is placed is called as a stage. Here we are keeping the slide for observation. Next, clips. To hold the slide. Okay, to hold the slide, there will be stage clips present on the stage. If we do not have these clips, so it will be difficult to move the slide in order to bring the specimen into focus. And then this is the diaphragm. Below the stage there will be condenser, and to this condenser there will be a, near the condenser there will be a diaphragm. So what is this diaphragm is, it will control the amount of light entering into the microscope, or entering into the, or entering in, or projected onto the specimen. Next is the light source. Light source can be anything, as we discussed earlier. It can be a lamp or a mirror under the stage that sends light through the object being viewed. Actually, coming to the light source, we can use sunlight in some microscopes. So in the microscopes which allow using of sunlight, there will be a mirror. Okay, and in some other microscopes there will be inbuilt light source, that is lamp. Okay, so whatever be the light source, some proper light should be focused onto the specimen, and this is the base, the bottom part that supports the rest of the microscopes. Through this base the microscope can be supported. Next, field of view. How you see the organism in this microscope. It is the area that you see when looking through the eyepiece. If this is the slide here, you can't see the entire slide at a time. Okay, because this objective will have a small lens which will be projecting a small area on the slide. Okay, so for example, you can see here, this is called, whatever area we are able to see under the microscope, that area is called at a time. Okay, that area is called as field of view. Comparing powers of magnification, we have seen that objectives will be of different magnification. So we can see better details with higher the powers of magnification, but we cannot see as much of the image. Sometimes what happens when we enlarge the image or when we magnify the image, to some extent there will be clarity. Okay, see, this is the view. If this is being enlarged here, we can see some clarity at this magnification. But if we go beyond this, at a certain point the image will become blurred. At certain point the image will become blurred. It is same as if when we try to enlarge our old photos, black and white photos or any other photos, after a certain point of magnification the picture won't be clear. So say same principle is applied here. Magnification is required to see the finer details of the image, but in light microscope there is a limitation. So a particular magnification can only give clear picture. So what's my power? How to calculate the magnification? This is the eye lens, eye or eyepiece. This is the objective. If this is 10x and if this is 40x, as we have discussed in the previous slides, we have to multiply these two numbers. That is 40 into 10. That is by using this microscope, when it is having this ocular of 10x and this objective of 40x, it will magnify the image how many times? 400 times. Okay, so this we have to be very clear. And this slide explains how to calculate the magnification for different objective lens. If eyepiece is 10x and objective will be, so whatever be the power of eyepiece and whatever be the power of objective lens, we have to get the magnification, you have to multiply both the numbers, you will get the magnification. This is the binocular microscope. This is nothing but it's a compound microscope, but the only difference between the compound microscope we have seen in the previous slide and this slide is we are having two eyepiece here, bi, that is why bi, or two oculars are present here, that is why we are calling it as binocular microscope. Here this is the body, this is the nose piece, and we are having objective lens. Here we can see four objective lens. This is the mechanical stage, this is the substage condenser, and aperture diaphragm control is there. Light source is inbuilt here. Field diaphragms lever, how much light we need, you can adjust by this diaphragm lever, and light intensity control we can adjust, and coarse adjustment and fine adjustment knobs, and stage adjustment knobs are present at the base. This is the arm of the microscope. This is what do you say, binocular microscope. This we can see nowadays in most of the labs. So if we discuss about light source, as we know, in this comes under light microscope or bright field microscope. Here light is necessary, and as I told you, we can use sunlight, okay, or we can use electric lamps, tungsten lamps, etc. also. And when we are using some other sources of light such as tungsten or other sources, you have to use some filters to reduce the excess brightness due to light, and comfortable viewing, we have to use these filters. And the source of illumination should be uniformly intense. Whatever light source is there, it should be uniformly fall on the specimen, and should completely flood the back lens of the condenser with light when the lamp iris diaphragm is open. When iris diaphragm is full open, definitely more light should pass to the um, objective make the object appear as though it were self-luminous. So when we use more light, more illumination, it will appear as if the object is self-illuminating. The light is coming from the object. Now, let us talk something about objective lens here. Objective we have seen there will be three types: 10x, 40x, and 100x here. So, coming to the eyepiece. It is the basic function is to look at the focused magnified real image projected by the objective. As the objective is there, it is forming a real image, and that image falls on the diaphragm of the eyepiece. Okay, this eyepiece will further magnifies the image which was given by the objective. We use aberration free eyepieces. There are two types of eyepieces according to the lens and diaphragm arrangement. Diaphragm is a membrane or structure which is present in the eye lens or ocular lens, um, ocular piece or eyepiece, on which the image formed by the objective will fall. Okay, so diaphragm is a screen where the image formed by the objective will fall on it, right? So the eyepieces are of two types: negative eyepieces and positive eyepieces. Negative eyepieces will have internal diaphragm, and positive eyepieces will have diaphragm below the lenses of the eyepieces. Okay, negative and positive eyepieces. This is in between negative eyepiece, and this is positive eyepiece, which is the diaphragm is present below the eye lens. There are different types of eyepieces: negative eyepiece or Hygenian eyepieces. Mostly a Hygenian eyepieces are used nowadays, and with the Hygenian eyepiece, we use objectives, achromatic objects of 5 times 5x or 40x, 5x to 40x. Other types of eyepieces are Ramstein eyepieces. Eyepiece has a eye lens and field lens, which are convex in nature. And the third important optical component is a condenser, which is present below the stage. So the name itself shows it is used for the condensing of the light rays. Okay, so this is the condenser. These are the light rays which is falling on it, so it will try to condense the light rays and project more amount of light onto the specimen. It will gather the light and it will focus onto the specimen. It is appropriately set up illumination. It is arranged that image of the light source comes to focus at the level of built-in variable aperture diaphragm. There will be a diaphragm here, so based on the diaphragm present in the condenser, the amount of light will be collected by the condenser. So when we want dark field microscopy, this in this condenser some phase ring will be adjusted. And condensers we use Abbe condenser, which have numerical aperture of 1.25. Numerical aperture is related to the ability to capture the light. So this is the passing of light rays or the path of light. We can see here, this is the condenser. Light is passing through this. This is the slide. It is focused on it and focused on the specimen, and from the specimen it is moving to the eyepiece. Coming to the mechanical parts, we have seen about the stand. It provides stability to the microscope, and base, it is say, it show give support. We'll be having two knobs. One is, and then nose piece is there, tube lens is there. And the functions of microscopes are, it ensures stability and rigidity of the microscope. Stand has the following functions: to give stability and rigidity, to provide the frame for holding the objectives and eyepiece, and to make it possible by means of adjustment knobs, to bring the specimen into focus, to hold the specimen on a flat surface stage, and to carry the movable substage condenser, which receives the light deflected by the built-in mirror and transmits that light, and to hold the lamp and electrical controls to operate the lamp. So this was a detailed explanation of compound microscope. Hope it was clear. Thank you.